Hello and welcome back. So now let's work on our saving and loading data. Right here, let's create a public static function by the name of save player, and this function is going to take in a player, and let's call this as player as well. Then inside this function we will create a binary formatter for us to use. So we will say binary formatter. Let's name this as formatter as well, and this will be equals to new binary formatter. Now the next thing which we will be doing is to create a file to save our data in, and also we need a path for that file to be saved in. Okay, so for that we will say string, let's name this path, and this will be equals to a path. So you can set the path like this, that C, and then for example inside the system folder you can do that as well. But as you know that we will run this game on the mobile phones. Okay, so also if you want to run this game on the mobile phones, then we need a persistent data path for saving the file. So for that we will say application dot persistent data path, and then we will use the plus attribute right here. Then we will say, or we will type the file name right here. So as I told you that we will be creating our own specific binary file, so we can just name this whatever you want. For example, player dot lol or something like that. You can just name this whatever you want, but let me see this right here. So we will just use the dot save right here. Okay, you can just name this file whatever you want. As I told you, you can name this as gta dot fun or whatever you want. Okay, but I will just leave this as player dot save. Okay, I mean name this as player dot save. So now as you can see that we have created a file, and since we will be working with a file, we use this concept of a file stream. A file stream is a stream of data contained in a file, and we use a particular file stream to read and write from it. So now in order to create a file stream for this, we will simply say file stream, and let's name this as stream as well. Then this will be equals to new file stream. Okay, we will pass the path, and then we will say file mode. And as you know that right here we are creating a file, so we will use the dot create attribute right here. Okay, then after this we will say player data, and let's name this as data, and this will be equals to new player data, and in here let's pass the player. Now let's insert all of the player data into a file. So we will say formatter dot serialize, we will pass the string and then the data, and right here this dot serialize means we are going to write data to the file. Okay, then when we are done adding data to the file, we want to close this stream, so we will just simply say stream dot close. So now this function will simply save our data. Now after this we need a function for loading the data. So let's create a function for loading data. Right after this we will say public static player data, and let's name this as load player. And then in here the first thing which we will be doing right here is that to get a path similar to what we did up here, okay, which is this string path equals to application dot persistent data path. Okay, so we can just copy that from there and paste it down below. Then after this let's check that if a file exists in this path or not. So we will say if file dot exist inside the path, and then let's add a else block as well. And in the else block, as you know that if the path doesn't exist, then we will print out a message. Okay, so we will say debug dot log error, and we will say save file not found in the path. Okay, then we will say return null. That is it. And now if the path exists, then right here we will do the same thing as we did up here. First we will call a binary formatter, so we can just simply copy that from there and paste it right here. So binary formatter equals to new binary formatter. Then after this let's call a file stream, so we will say file stream, let's name this as stream, and this will be equals to new file stream. In here let's pass the path, and then we will say file mode dot open. Okay, because we want to open up the file. Right here we say file mode dot create because we will creating a file. Then right here we are opening the file, so we will say file mode dot open. Then let's change that file which we open right here from binary to the normal readable format. So we will say player data equals to formatter dot deserialize. We will pass the stream as player data. Right here this formatter dot deserialize will change data from binary to normal readable format. Okay, and once we convert it back from binary, we will then close the stream, so we will say stream dot close, and right here we will simply return the data. Okay, right here we are returning null. Then right here if the file exists, then we will simply return that data. That is it. So now once all of these things are completed, after this get back to the player script, and on the player script we will create two functions. The first one will be public void save player. Okay, and in the save player we will call the save system save player function. Okay, as you can see this is not a mono behavior script, and also this is static, so that's why we need to call this on this player script, and then from this player script we will call it on our buttons or wherever you want to call this save and load system. Okay, so we will say save system dot save player, and then we will say this. Now after this let's create another function public void load player. And guys, also let me tell you that these save system script can be only called on this player script because right here we added a player reference right there. Okay, so it will only work on this player script. Okay, now let's create a load function. So for that we will say player data, let's name this as data as well, then this will be equals to the save system dot load player function. Okay, then now down below this integer which is this player money, so player money will be now equals to data dot player money. Okay, and basically this will be equals to this player money which is on the player data. Okay, then now after this we want to load the player position as well, so we will say vector3, let's create it by the name of position, and in here the position dot x of the player will be then equals to data dot position 0, then the position dot y of the player will be equals to data dot position 1. Okay, and then the position dot z of the player will be equals to data dot position, and we will say 2. Now after the position we will set the transform dot position of the player to the position vector 3. that is it. Now we also load the inventory as well, so we will say inventory dot, okay, this is this inventory reference. Now inventory dot is weapon 1 picked, okay, this is the variable on the inventory script. And then this will be equals to is data dot is weapon 1 picked, okay, which is this one, is weapon 1 picked on the player data. And as you know, player data script is by the name of data. Now in the same way we can do it for the weapon 2 3 4. Then down below, let's do it for the missions. So you will say mission dot mission 1 is equals to data dot mission 1. And then in the same way, let's do it for the mission 2 3 and 4. That is it. So now we have the save player and load player function. If we check our scripts, okay, everything is now perfectly fine. Now we can just save all of these scripts and then get back to Unity. As you can see, we don't have any errors. Now if we change into scene view, and as you know that inside our player house, whenever we touch this green light, okay, we want to save our game. So we will call this save player function whenever we touches that light. And as you know, on that light we have attached this save glow script. So now on this script, whenever right here, whenever we collide with it, what we will do, we pass the mission, and also now we will save the game as well. So we will say if other dot game object dot tag equals to player, okay, we just want the player, whenever the player collides with it we want to save the game. So that's why we will say other dot game object dot tag equals to player. And if it is the player, then we will say player, okay, we already have a reference to our player script, and on the player script we need this save player. So we will say player dot save player, and that is it. And whenever this happens, we want to show in the console that game saved. We will also be showing a UI right here to the player, but that is for the future. For now we will just show it in the console. Okay, so now whenever we touch with the save glow, it will save our game. Now we don't have a button for loading the game, okay. For now we will just create a simple button on our screen right here somewhere, okay, and by using that button we will load our game. Because for loading the game we have a button on our main menu, okay, but for now we don't have the main menu, so we will just do it right here, okay. We will create a simple button. So for example, in the minimap canvas, let's go ahead and create a legacy button. As you can see, there it is. Let's name this as load button, and right here this has this button component, and then we have this on click. So if we click on this to add a list, then in here we will drag and drop the player, and it will select the player game object. Then inside the player script, let's call this load player function. That is it. Now by using this button it will simply load the game. And let me change its name right here to load as well. And if we change into scene view 2D mode, let's focus upon this button, and let's move this button to bottom center. Okay, so we will select bottom center, and as you can see, there it is. Now we are ready to test this game now. So if we play the game, and let me put this on the maximize, and as you can see right here, it shows our first mission, which is locate your house and save game. Okay, so now let's complete our mission first of all, and it will basically save our game as well. So if we get inside the light now, and as you can see, it gives us this error and it stopped the game. This is because if we click on this and click on the save area, the reason it is showing that error that right here, or if we open up the player script, right here we have added these two references, which is the inventory and missions. And if we click on our player, as you know that we didn't added the inventory and mission script references right here. Okay, so now we need to add the inventory script. So the inventory script is right here on the inventory canvas. So if you click on player, let's drag and drop the inventory canvas right there, and for the missions, let's drag and drop this missions game object, and it will select the missions from there. That is it. It was due to that because we didn't add a references. Now if we play the game again, let's maximize the screen. Now let's go ahead and locate your house and save game. So if we save it, now as you can see the mission updated, also the player money updated, and if we see the console, let me show to you, it shows that save and then game saved. Okay, so it means that it has saved our game. Now for example, if we buy some weapon, for now our inventory is empty. Okay, and also we have completed our first mission. Okay, and our player money, now you can notice the player money is 580. Okay, we have one weapon in the inventory and we have passed the mission. So now if we go ahead and save the game again, okay, now you will notice that if we check the console, it shows game saved again. Okay, now we have saved the game. Okay, now if we go ahead and buy some other weapon, okay, and didn't save the game, for example this rocket launcher, now we have two weapons in the inventory. So now if we load the game, okay, for now I think we will be not able to load the game because for that we need to unlock our cursor. Okay, but as you know that we have now saved the game. Okay, now let's stop the game. Okay, it means that if you just close your game and then you want to play the game tomorrow, then if you play it and if you then click on this load button, it will work. But first of all, on the player right here, let me create a update function, and in here we just simply want to unlock the cursor. So we will say that if input.getKey down, and if we press the P key, okay, we will unlock the cursor. Okay, this is just for now, okay, just for testing, because we want to press this load button when we are playing the game. Okay, we want to test it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the game now. And as you know that we have saved the game in which we had one weapon in our inventory and we have some more dollars than 250, and also our mission 1 was completed. Okay, so now if we lock the cursor, okay, and let's unlock it again. Now if you click on load player, and now as you can see, it now shows that meet Frank in the police station. It means that now mission 1 is being passed and it has given the $580. And if we check the inventory, okay, we can't see our inventory for now. I mean, we can't see the weapons in our inventory. But if we press the one button, as you can see, it give us the handgun. Okay, because in the previous in when we saved the game we picked up the handgun, so that's why it is giving us the handgun we can shoot. Okay, but it don't show it in the inventory, and we actually don't want that. So now if we go ahead and for example pick up the bazooka this time, okay, and go ahead and save the game again and then try to load it back in. Okay, so now before saving the game, notice the $330 and we have the bazooka in our inventory as well. So now if we save it, okay, we saved the game. Now if we get back right here, unlock the cursor, let's click on load. Now as you can see, our dollars are back to 330 and we don't have the shotgun and use it, but if we press the 4 button it will give us the bazooka. Okay, for now the player location is not loading and also it didn't show the bazooka in the inventory. I don't know why, what is the reason behind this, but for now as you can see the save and load function work, and in the next video we will fix the other issues.